I'm not sure how to follow up on such gravitas with any semblance of levity whatsoever, especially since my story is about a dildo named Bernitos that I use on people. I hope time isn't taken off of this. When I was 12, my mother decided that where we were living was a toxic place, infecting its children with toxic values. And to an extent, she was right. I mean, this was the San Francisco Bay Area. It's the most fucking toxic place on earth. It's 9-year-olds with iPhones. It's ridiculous. But the way she dealt with it was with complete recoil. She adopted this sort of Palin-esque idea of real America and decided that we would adopt that into our own lives. And accordingly, this mandated that I wear a garish silver belt buckle to my elementary school graduation. We listened to nothing but Randy Travis and Reba McEntire in San Anselmo. And that I wear cowboy boots to middle school because, goddammit, she fucking bought them for me and I'm going to wear them. And that would have all been fine. I mean, these were all one-off situations. But this culminated when she decided that life would be better lived in Laramie, Wyoming. Yeah. And we would simply up ourselves and move there when I was 12. A few of you probably know Laramie for something that happened in 2000, which was the Laramie County Fair, of course. It was fun. I mean, even when I was 12, I could tell this was a shitty town. You drove in on Highway 80, and you could just see how clearly demarcated the town was. It was town and then mountain, and you just knew that sucked, even when you were 12. And, you make do, and I spent my days, playing Final Fantasy VII, and, showing my dog at dog shows, and I fucking did that shit. And making heavy speculative bets on the Beanie Baby market. Of course, when the bubble burst, I lost everything. But I made a friend, and his name was Jeff, and the reason this friend was so awesome was because my mom told me not to hang out with him. He was a bad influence, and we hung out all the time, and one day we had a document I procured, and for those of you who are older than I am, you missed something great, and I apologize, not just because you're closer to infirmity and death than I am, but because you missed the key convergence of youth and the rise of email. And what that gave birth to when you were young was awesome chain letters. Just awesome, dirty chain letters. And I got one, and it was, I believe, the genesis of all the lame pickup lines we know. Is that a mirror in your pocket because I can see myself in your pants? Brilliant. Brilliant. Amazing. Is your name Gillette because you're the best a man can get? It's just so keen. These were, and we decided to take them one day, and on the way home from school, we were 12, decided to try them out on this 14-year-old cougar sitting across the aisle. And we were going hard at her. I was scooting up next to her, had a mirror in her pocket, putting my arm around her, and she was just this prude, stuck-up, stiff-backed, and she got off the bus, and I thought nothing of it, and later that night, I had my math tutor over. By the way, we're Jewish, which makes this whole cowboy phantasmagoria so much funnier. And accordingly, I was in a math class that was like 2 years too high, because that's what we do. And I had a math tutor there, and we were having dinner with him because we paid him partly in hamburger helper, which was a Wyoming delicacy. And we hear this knock on the door, and I knew immediately it had something to do with what happened on the bus, because every day is the same, and that was the different thing, and that's why this is a different thing happening right now. We open up the door, and it's a cop. And he asks, Andrew Thompson, are you around? And he asked my mother that, and I sort of scoot up to the door, and He said, did you do this? No. No, hell no. I'm a live 12-year-old in an advanced math class. I don't need that fucking 14-year-old wrinkly girl. Like, fuck that. And he goes, listen, I got 4 witnesses who say they saw this. Now, did you do this? I go, yeah. I did. I'm sorry. My mother, this Jewish lugubrious is just pouring forth. I thought I raised you better. You're just going to turn out like your father. And I'm crying. And, you know, meanwhile, my math tutor is just in the other room chipping away at his hamburger. And the cop goes, everyone makes mistakes, but only criminals lie about it. And immediately I have 2 thoughts simultaneously. The first is that I am fucked. I'm not going to be able to pay the capital gains of my Beanie Babies because it's all going to go to bail, and I'm not going to retire at 15, and all the market reports I read on Tuffy the Jack Russell Terrier were all for naught. I actually did do that. And the second was that this guy was full of shit. I mean, you know, he watched so much Law & Order, or whatever the other equivalent of CSI was back then, and he wanted to live in New York or Philly or Baltimore and bust heads, and he couldn't. And he knew he was going to be buried at the graveyard next to the fucking McDonald's up on Grand Avenue, and so he busted my head, the 12-year-old's head, who teased a girl with pickup lines. And so, I think it went on my record. This will probably negate any potential political run I'll ever have. And that was it, and I think the moral of the story is, do not speculate on commodity bubbles that are made of toys.